Hey, good morning, all. It is Sunday morning. It's time for Cruise Chat Live. It's almost July 1. Can you believe it? We're already halfway through the year. Holy cow, people. Things are just flying so quick. But it's good to see everybody. If you're new to the channel, I'm Walter, your independent travel advisor with Where's Walter Travel. We're going to spend about the next hour or so doing our best to answer your questions and talk about cruise news and things going on. Oh my goodness, we got a whole bunch of people already over here on the YouTube and Facebook side. Hi, we got Sue, Eric, John, Betty, Mary, Becky. Hi, everybody. And I see a bunch of folks are now joining in over on the TikTok side as well. And John, I love it. You're folding laundry and researching the Sun Princess dining options. It's getting real. It is getting real. Oh, man, folks, we have a big group going out in October on the new Sun Princess. And John, I believe we are going to try to eat just about everything we possibly can on that cruise. I'm so excited. We got multiple people coming on who are going to be having dinner with us. And by the way, our group is now closed on the Sun Princess. You can still book. We can still get you on there. You can still join all the group activities. But the Princess has now recalled all of our remaining cabins. So the group is technically closed, but there is still some room left on that sailing. Not a whole lot left on that sailing on the Sun Princess. But hey, Chuck and Mary, how are you? Good to see you guys. And speaking of group cruises, if you did not see this past week, we did announce our group cruise on the Margaritaville at Sea Islander. So to say that we enjoyed that cruise, yes. We did enjoy our 6 nights on the ship, and we've been really happy to hear about the progress as things are moving along. Cruising Chicks, how are you? Good morning. Thanks so much for joining us. Hey, folks, if you're new to the channel, we invite you to subscribe, like, share, do all those good things that TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn all know that you like what we're doing because we really do enjoy spending some time with you every Sunday morning. Hey, Norma, how are you? But for Valentine's Day 2025, February 11th, we are sailing on the Margaritaville at Sea Islander. It is going to be so much fun. We're 6 nights. This is actually, I didn't even realize it. This is the very first sailing of that itinerary, the new 6-night itinerary that will be Key West, Progresso, and Cozumel. So starting in 2025, the Margaritaville Islander is sailing 6 and 7 night itineraries. Right now, you can go 4 and 5 nights. But it'll be 6 and 7 night itineraries. Not only do we have amazing group rates, but Margaritaville at Sea has thrown in the prepaid gratuities. So our rates are lower and we have prepaid gratuities. It's absolutely nuts what you can, we've got, we got balcony. I can't even talk. We got balconies, we got interiors, and we got ocean views. You going to say something? No? Okay. As always, my wife, Rebecca, is sitting right off camera. She is the other half of this. And we do appreciate all the likes and comments and all of that. So at least all the channels know that you like what we're doing. Bill, good morning. Good to see you. Good morning, Kurt. How are you? So Margaritaville at Sea Islander. We're going to be on her for 6 nights, February 11th through the 17th. We are going to be having a captain-led vow renewal. So if you've ever wanted to have your, vows renewed at sea, this would be a great time to do it. But of course, you can be solo travelers. You can just be friends. You can be couples. You can be families. This is a great family ship. We want everybody to come and have a great time because we've got a great group rate. But if you are so inclined and you would like to take part in a vow renewal ceremony, we think it's going to be on February 13th because that's a sea day. On actual Valentine's Day, we're going to be in Progresso, but we don't know. But if you'd like to come along, the prices are really good. I just can't tell you what they are legally. I cannot advertise the actual pricing per the agreement with Margaritaville at Sea. I can just tell you that they're really, 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 really good. Leo, good morning. How are you? Any good East Coast cruises, please? That's a lot of area. You're talking New York, Boston, Baltimore, I think Virginia maybe. There's a lot of cruises in there. So you're probably talking a good, 3 dozen, 4 dozen cruises going out every week, if not more. There's a lot of them.
If you're talking actually cruising along the East Coast, there are fewer.
Yeah, there's only a few of those. But yeah, if you just want to cruise along the East Coast itself, like go from New York down to Miami, there's only a few of those. But like from New York, you've got a couple dozen going out. New York, New Jersey, you got a couple dozen going out every week. From Florida, you probably have about 50 to 60 going out every single week. So yeah, you kind of have to narrow it down a little bit what you want to do, but there's a lot of them. There are a lot of them out there. So Leo, you want to give us a little bit more area? We'll be happy to maybe throw out some ideas, or you can just simply reach out. Folks, I remind you every week, we are Where's Walter Travel, and our services are 100% free to you. We do not charge any fees for our services. We are here to help you guys out. And we book cruises, land tours, luxury expedition. We do it all. So, Travel Nut, how are you? Good to hear from you. You have 4 booked with your first Carnival and second Med Europe cruises. That's awesome, man. It's always fun to have them on the books. I don't know if Nurse Tara will be chiming in, but Nurse Tara, I think right now wins for our clients for having the most cruises on the books right now. I don't even know how many she has. I've lost track of all the cruises that she has. So, yeah. Emily, you're waiting to board a back-to-back on Wonder of the Seas. Ooh, that's going to be fun. Oh, man. I'll tell you what, I wonder if you're going to be able to do everything. I'm assuming you're going to be on there for 13 or 14 days. So, wow, I wonder if you'll have time to do everything that there is available on that ship. There's so much on that ship. It's a beautiful ship, too.
That means you're waiting just like an hour away from us. So, hi.
That's true. If you're at Port Canaveral, just look towards Orlando and wave. We're waving back. Hello, good morning. John, hey, you're going to be getting off the Viva 2 days before the Islander. If I can get your boss to give you 3 weeks off, you're in. Just have your boss call me, John. That's all. Just have him reach out, and I'll tell him how vitally important it is for you to be on the Margaritaville Islander for Valentine's Day. I'll be more than happy to. If anybody needs me to talk to your boss to get some time off, just reach out. I'll do my best. I'll come up with a reason. I don't know. I'll come up with something. So, Chuck, what a great question. So Chuck is asking, can we do a margarita crawl while we are on the Islander? That's a great question, because now I didn't find this out until the 5th night of being 6 nights on the ship. There are 13 bars on the Margaritaville Islander. Each one of them has their own margarita. I didn't know this. I'm like, why don't you tell us these things? So yeah, so we're going to be on the ship for 6 nights. So my intention is to try all 13 variations of the margarita. And what's really fun is when we do the captain's toast on the ship, it's champagne glasses, but there's margaritas in there. So yeah, a margarita crawl is actually, if you look at the website, I do actually mention a margarita crawl. So yes, we will be doing one for sure. For those who would like to partake in it. Absolutely. Janet, good morning. Emily, good morning. How are you? Good to see you. Scott, how you doing? Yes, Scott, I will be glad to talk to your boss. I'll be glad to talk to your boss. Leo, yes, you need to narrow down where. So here's the thing, Leo, when you talk about going out, what's a good cruise on the East Coast? One, you've got a lot of different places to sail out of. And 2, you got different lengths. You can sail from 3 nights up to, 14 to 20 nights. And then what islands do you want to see, or what destinations do you want to go to? So yeah, there's a lot of things. And then once we finally figure out where you're going to sail out of, how long you want to sail, and what time frame you're going to sail, then we have a finite number of ships. There's only so many ships, say, sailing out of Port Canaveral every week. So if we're going to put you out of Port Canaveral, then we have to figure out what's the best itinerary there. So that's one of the cool things about working, with a travel advisor versus trying to do all the research yourself. I was talking to one of my clients yesterday who went on their very first cruise. They went on the Celebrity Beyond, absolutely blown away. And they were trying to start looking at, well, what about Europe? What about Alaska? And they were just getting overwhelmed because there's multiple ships. He's like, I don't even really know what I'm looking at. And I said, well, that's where we come in. And so we gather up some advice, and we just try to help you out. And of course, like I said, our services are free. And I did fix the links. I noticed that the links on TikTok and everywhere, the link was actually broken. The link tree wasn't working. That is now fully functional. So if you click, you're watching us on TikTok. If you click the logo, there is a link tree in there. And the first thing on there is contact us. You can go ahead and set up an appointment, and we'll chat, and we'll go ahead and get you guys started with that. So. And Scott, by the way, Controversial Cruising, it was so awesome to see you on the ship, albeit briefly. I was hoping we were going to get a little bit more chance to talk, but it was great to see you on the Margaritaville Islander. So awesome hanging out with you, and especially Rocky and Mark this cruise life. So much fun. I hope we get to see you again soon. Come on the Islander with us. You'll have a great time. Kathy, good morning in Florida. Norma. Oh, Norma, thank you. Norma is saying that she enjoyed our videos from the Margaritaville dining. And I just put one up this morning. If you haven't seen it, it was our final night in the Finn's dining room, which was the 6th night on the ship. What a complete difference from the first night to the 6th night. I mean, the dining room got its groove going. Now, is it perfect? No. I mean, no main dining room is perfect. We were on Symphony of the Seas a year and a half ago, and not the best dinner in the world. But the Finns, they really got it going on for that last dinner. So I literally just posted that today. I hope y'all have a chance to see that. Benny, good morning in New Jersey. Robbie is going on the Islander the week of July 22nd. Oh, man, have a good time. But one of the coolest things about sailing out of Tampa, because we had never sailed out of Tampa, is the sail away is like almost 3 hours long. It takes a long, in Port Canaveral, Miami, and Fort Lauderdale, it's like sail away and we're in the ocean, right? 20 minutes, we're out, we're gone. With Tampa, it's about a 2.5 hour sail from the time you push off from the dock until you cross under the bridge. And it's like, wow, we're in this channel for a really, really long time. So it's actually a really cool sail away just to get, you're looking at all the landscape going by and everything. And then suddenly here comes the bridge. And oh, man, it is a really cool sail away. So if you've never sailed out of Tampa, that would be a cool reason to come join us. Out of Tampa right now, you've got the Margaritaville Islander, which is actually the largest ship by passenger count sailing out of Tampa right now, home port. Unfortunately, it's in the smallest terminal, so you've got to bring your patience pants with you because embarkation, not much they can do about it. They need to keep closing the building. You got Royal Caribbean and you got Carnival. So those are the 3 that are permanently their home port all year round. And then Celebrity comes in and Norwegian comes in for seasons. Yeah, it is a super cool sail away sailing out of Tampa. So if you've never done that, I mean, that's a reason to come with us on the group cruise all by itself. Benny, I said New Jersey, right? Thank you. I try. I grew up in New York, so I know a little bit about the Northeast. Yes. Good morning, Christy. How you doing? Good to see you, Barbara. Good morning. Good morning, Chris. How are you? I hope I know you asked me for info on the cruise, so I did send it to you. Penny, you completely enjoyed our Margaritaville interviews based on that. I'm not sure if it's for me. Well, that is perfect, because not every ship is for everybody. So if I helped you, make that determination that, okay, it looks fun, but it's not really for me, that's awesome. That's awesome because that's one of the big things about, being a travel advisor is understanding, what ship is going to work for you and what vibe is going to work for you. So yeah, if that was helpful for you to determine that's not the ship for you, that's awesome. That is totally awesome. And I try to bring unbiased. I see some of the other vloggers. Look, when you go on an inaugural cruise, you go on the very first couple of weeks. Things don't work right. Things are broken.
Month or so.
Yeah, I mean, Sun Princess just opened Love by Brito, one of their restaurants. They just opened it this week, and that ship started sailing in February. The Park 19 roller glider thing up top, that's not even running yet. That ship launched.
The course isn't open.
Yeah, like all the stuff up top isn't even open yet. That ship launched in February. That's a brand new ship. That's like a $3 billion ship. So, when I saw some of the vloggers just really hammering and going hard on the negative, it was disappointing because they really, Margaritaville did a great job and things are not going to work perfectly on an inaugural. So what I try to be fair, I try to be balanced in the coverage, just because, look, on every single cruise we go on, like I said, we went on the Symphony of the Seas a year and a half ago. We did not enjoy the main dining room at all. And I let you guys know, I didn't enjoy the main dining room and I hated the pizza. Ooh, wasn't good at all, but there were wonderful things about it. But there was absolutely nothing on that cruise that would ruin our cruise. We've never had anything on a cruise that would ruin it. I saw some people complaining about the mustard drill. Oh my God, that totally ruined the day. It's like, it's 10 minutes. It's an old school mustard drill. We don't get to do those very often. And it was like 10 minutes out there. Yes, we were out in the warm. The crew made it fun. And what amuses me is some of the people that I saw like really complaining about, oh, the mustard drill was awful. I had to stand outside in the heat, are the same people sitting up on the sun deck for hours at a time. So I'm like, what's the difference? You're standing out in the heat for 10 minutes or you're sitting on the sun deck? I guess because they didn't have a drink. I don't know. But anyway, things don't go right all the time. So Hey, Benny is reminding us it's 110 days till the sun brings it. I can't wait. Christy, you're looking at a Disney cruise that stopped at both Castaway and Lighthouse Point. I think there are some in there. Yeah, there are some in there. So Lighthouse Point is now open. I think some of the best coverage, again, talking about, good balanced coverage, DCL Duo did a really nice job because, yes, that pier is way out there at Lighthouse Point, but it kind of had to be because of, you can't disturb, the pier you can't disturb the underwater area too close to the island. So they had to put that pier out there. But look, I'll take a long walk over tender anytime. So if you look at DCL Duo, they did a really nice job at Lighthouse Point. But yeah, Chris, you go ahead and reach out. Pam, you're on the Carnival Luminosa, Alaska, August 1st through the 8th, and you're worried about the weather. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know much about, where the weather is right now is the Caribbean. We got Beryl turning out to be a historic early hurricane churning across. But what you have to do is you got to be prepared for layers. Look, Alaska is wet. If you, I just had a client who went the entire week with no rain. That was shocking. That was absolutely shocking. That does not happen. So you got to be prepared for layers, and you got to be prepared for it to be wet because Alaska can be wet. And you just go and have a good, Ketchikan is almost always wet. If you get a sunny day in Ketchikan, that is a miracle. But yeah, I wouldn't worry about the weather. Just have layers. You got to have layers because you could get off the ship in the morning and it might be in the 40s or 50s, and then by the afternoon it's in the 70s.
Although August, it should be relatively
warmer.
But
yeah.
It could be wet. It could be, so just be prepared.
Yeah. Jazzy, you did a 7-day cruise with the MSC Seascape and you had a beautiful, good cruise. I'll tell you what, MSC knows how to build a ship. And they know how to make pools. Oh my God, the pools are beautiful on those ships. We've done the Seaside and the Seashore so far. Seashore is the sister for the Seascape. They are beautiful, beautiful ships. And oh my God, if you're a sports fan, man, you've never seen a sports bar like these. I know Royal Caribbean had Playmakers. Oh man, this sports bar is really nice, the way they've got that sports bar set up. So that is awesome. Chris, you still don't have a cabin number for the Mardi Gras in September. So look, folks, when you book a guaranteed cabin, you may not have a cabin number until you actually get to the terminal. Okay, that cabin is assigned at any time between the time you book and when you show up at the terminal.
Although very rarely do you actually get an assignment until after final payment.
Yeah.
And generally it's more like 1 month to 1 week before you get on board most of the time. Yeah.
So if you book if any of you are watching and you're thinking about booking a guaranteed cabin and you're waiting on that cabin assignment, you can literally get it when you actually show up at the terminal and they're like, here's your cabin.
Not the most common scenario.
It's not the most common, but it has happened. It has happened. And I've heard from some people recently that it has happened recently. And by the way, I invite you to, if you're watching on TikTok, YouTube, and all these things, go ahead and like what you're watching so that TikTok and YouTube and everybody knows that you like what we're doing. We like what we're doing. We're having a good time. What?
I don't know when the final you personally being paid in full is not the same as what the final payment is. Because they need to make sure everybody else is still going to stay with the cruise. Final payment. Because some people do wait till the last minute to cancel.
Yeah. So, Chris, you'll find out when you find out.
And I don't know how Carnival does it. Some cruise lines will email you. Some you'll just log in, and all of a sudden there'll be a cabin number.
Usually, you should expect like an updated confirmation is going to come to you. Hey, your cruise has been updated. Here's your updated confirmation. But not always. Not always. So yeah. Scott is saying he went to Alaska in May this year and August last year between all 11 ports, not one drop of rain, and you were in Ketchikan. Oh my goodness. That's absolutely amazing to go 11 ports in Alaska and not get any rain. We're going to have 12 days in Alaska next year. If anybody wants to join us, we're basically on the last call right now with Oceana. We expect Oceana to pull our cabin soon, but we have balcony cabins on the Oceana Riviera for Alaska, June 26th through July 8th, 2025. Our cabins are upwards of $1,000 less than the public pricing. Plus, we have $1,200 in group amenities that are added on top of that, prepaid gratuities, and a drink package upgrade. So if you want to come to Alaska and you want to do it on a small ship, there's only 1,200 people on the Oceania Riviera, and you want to have the upgrades. Oh my gosh, this is going to be an absolutely amazing cruise. I mean, an amazing cruise for 12 nights in Alaska. Barbara, absolutely. I'll send you the Islander info after this. For those of you who are watching, you can actually go to our website right now. In fact, Barbara, if you click the link in my logo in the link tree, there's actually a link to the Margaritaville group cruise. The pricing is not on the site. Again, I cannot advertise the pricing. Barbara, I'll send it over to you later. But if you want to know more about any of our group cruises, if you're watching us on YouTube, LinkedIn, and Facebook, there are links in the description. If you're watching on TikTok, just click my logo. And again, there are links in the link tree that will take you directly to all of our group cruises, or that will take you to our website. And of course, all the contact information is in there as well. Hey, good morning, Alex. Hey, Alex, by the way, we do have your proposal for you. I realized that we never sent it to you. You asked us about transatlantics, and we have the proposal. Repositioning. You asked us about repositioning, and I thought we had sent that to you. It's coming to you. Hopefully, the end of the day today, we'll get that over to you. Hey, Eric, only 130 days until the Norwegian Prima Transatlantic. That's going to be amazing. I can't wait. I can't wait. That is going to be so awesome. We have yet to do that. I'm hoping to do that next year. I really want to go run. I want to do the Queen Mary 2, and I want to run from New York over to London. And then if we do it in September or October, I want to hop a ship and come back this way after we've done hopefully a river cruise and or a land tour in Europe. So yeah. Hey, Mary said you saw that Love by Brito was open yesterday. You booked a dinner there for the group cruise, but have only seen one review. We have no info either. I mean, it literally just opened. So whoever did the review must have been there on the first night. We don't know much about it. We don't know much about it at all. But just wait, just give it a few weeks. I don't think we're going to end up booking there because we've already booked so many dinners everywhere else. I mean, I'm going to Dario's. We're going to Spellbound. We're doing
The Catch by Rudy.
The Catch by Rudy.
And the Teppanyaki.
And the Teppanyaki. So we're pretty much booked out. We're gonna.
We do like Princess's main dining room.
We love the main dining room.
Hit that a couple of times.
Yes, too. Yeah. Douglas, hey, thank you so much for the reminder. Yes, Douglas is saying, did Douglas see that Walter has a special deal for Norwegian cruises right now? The answer is yes, we do. And I haven't been able to put an ad out on that yet. What is the booking through? July 6th? I think it's through July 6th. If you book any 7-night or longer Norwegian cruise with me, and I want to say it's through July 6th, I need to double check the date, and you book a balcony or above, I can add up to $200 of onboard credit for your cruise. You have to book through me. This offer is not it's not an offer from Norwegian Cruise Line. It is an offer through select agents, and I am fortunate enough to be one of those select agents that they reached out to. So it is up to $200 of onboard credit. So it's $100 of onboard credit for all the balcony categories, $200 of onboard credit for the Haven categories. But you need to book with me, and I want to say the date is July 6th. I could be wrong about that. It's a 2-week time frame that just started. So yeah, so if anybody's interested in booking a Norwegian cruise, I can throw on some extra onboard credit courtesy of Norwegian. Again, you cannot get this offer through Norwegian Cruise Line. It has to be through a select agent. We are one of those select agents. So Douglas, thank you so much for reminding me to talk about that. John is saying he can't decide between Dario's and the Crown Grill on the Sun Princess. So 2 completely different experiences. So the Crown Grill is your classic Princess steakhouse, whereas Dario's, it's just meat. It is meat, and there's a whole show that goes with the meat. And the difference is, too, it's also done, Dario's is in the buffet area. It's like a pop-up that happens every night in the buffet area. So it too completely, Dario's is more like it almost looks more like going to have dinner in a meat market in New York, whereas the Crown Grill is your elegant steakhouse. So two different experiences that should be very interesting. I do know that there is at least one dish from Dario's now in the Crown Grill.
And I will say, if you were trying to decide at the current moment, Sun Princess is the only princess ship that has stereos.
That
Whereas
is
the
true.
Crown Grill is on every princess
It's
ship.
everywhere. It's everywhere. So
if that helps you decide.
yeah. Doc DJ, great question right there. I'm leaving today for Virgin Voyages for back-to-back Eastern and Western Caribbean. Should you be concerned about the hurricane? So Beryl is turning into a record-breaking hurricane already in the Caribbean. Now, one, being on a cruise ship, technically, we don't worry about that. We sailed during Hurricane Irma, which was a Cat 5. We left Miami 3 days before she hit the Caribbean. So the big thing about it is cruise ships can move, islands can't. So cruise ships will alter their schedule. Like the Icon of the Seas already changed their cruise. I think they went out yesterday or they're going out today. Their Eastern Caribbean turned into a Western Caribbean already. So what you can expect, since you're on a back-to-back, you can absolutely expect that your cruise is going to change. Probably your Eastern Caribbean may have already changed. So when you get on board the ship, you may have a new itinerary when you get on board the ship. But as conditions change, Virgin Voyages, absolutely, they're not going to send the ship anywhere near the storm. So you can fully expect anybody who is sailing this week, even out of Galveston, Texas. I mean, we need to see where this thing is going, because it's staying low and it's getting very, very large. So basically, all the cruise lines are watching. If you're going out on a cruise this coming week, pretty much anywhere in the Caribbean, you can pretty much expect that your cruise itinerary is going to change this week. So you're just going to roll with it. And you may not know what those changes are until the night before. You may not know what the changes are until you get on the ship. You may not know what those changes are until you wake up the next morning. And you're like, oh, we're supposed to be somewhere, but now we're out of sea. You just have to roll with it. And that is the way that the hurricane stuff works. Shout out to Alex. He just told me per my Facebook post. Thank you for looking at it, Alex. You have until July 12th to book with me on Norwegian Cruise Line to take advantage of that up to $200 of onboard credit. So again, if you book any Norwegian cruise 7 nights or longer and a balcony cabin or higher, and it cannot be the sail away categories, we can add up to $200 of onboard credit as one of the select travel agencies that was selected to offer this. This is not offered through Norwegian directly. You have to book through the select travel agent. So thank you for that, Alec. So yeah, and thank you, Dr. DJ, for that. You just have to keep an eye. Right now we are on we are blazing into what will be a very busy hurricane season. So just be prepared. Anybody who's sailing into the Caribbean this year, expect changes, expect things to happen in your itinerary. So you're just gonna have to roll with it. Barbara, you've already got 2 culinary classes booked on the Riviera. That's one of the cool things about Oceana. They do have a whole culinary school on the ship.
Not every ship,
but on the Riviera, the one that we're going to Alaska on, they do have culinary classes, and they're already open. So people are already booking the classes and things like that. And we're setting up on our Oceana Alaska cruise, which I'll pop back up on the screen, we're setting up 2 optional group excursions. Now with Oceana, you actually get $600 of onboard, $600 of shore excursion credit. So the first $600 of shore excursion that you book through Oceana are on them. But we're also going to be booking 2 optional. One is Island Wings Air in Ketchikan. That's going to be a float plane tour. And 2 is Harv and Marv whale watching in Juneau. Those are going to be optional. Those will be paid. We're already talking to Harv and Marv, and we're talking to Island Wings Air. And go ahead and arrange all of this. So it's going to be totally awesome.
That's separate from.
It's separate
Oceana.
from the cruise. Cruising Kimberly says the MSC Seascape with much improved food and entertainment from last year. That's awesome. I know on the what was it? The seashore. Again, I'm confused. So on the seashore, I thought the entertainment was a lot better than the seaside, for sure. I thought the food was actually a little better on the seaside, which was interesting. But yeah, MSC, they're very inconsistent. That's the biggest problem right now with MSC, is they are extremely inconsistent, both with the food and the service. So once they get that fixed, man, boy, I'll tell you, MSC, they know how to build. Their island is fabulous. If you've never been to Ocean Key, their island is absolutely fabulous. So Janet, How are you? Your husband and you traveled on the Viking Elmba. I'm butchering that. From Passau to Budapest, cruising into Budapest at 9:30 at night was incredible. Viking was incredible. We have booked quite a few people on Viking, and it seems like everybody wants to come into Budapest at night because it's absolutely gorgeous sailing in there. Of course, sailing on the rivers at night is just gorgeous anyway because all the light reflecting off of that. Folks, if you haven't taken a river cruise yet, we haven't taken a river cruise yet. Okay, we learned a lot about them. We've got amazing travel partners who are helping us and getting some amazing cruises for y'all. We're booking so many river cruises that hopefully next year or 26 we will finally get on a river. We've had so many of our partners reach out and go, Walt, when are you coming on the ship? When are you coming on the ship? Like Riverside Luxury Cruises, we cannot wait to go hop on one of theirs as well. But that sailing into Budapest at night is supposed to be just simply spectacular. Thank you so much for sharing, Janet. We can't wait to get over there. I do want to go. Cindy, I see that you're mentioning the Sun Princess. I'm not sure what that is, but if you have a question about Sun Princess, be happy to answer it. I think you're coming on that one, aren't you? Aren't you on that one with us? So again, we do have a group cruise going out on the Sun Princess in October. Our group cabins have now been recalled. They're sold out, but there are still some limited spaces on that sailing. That is actually the second U.S. sailing of the Sun Princess. So it's going to be absolutely amazing. We didn't realize that when we set up the group. We're like, oh yeah, this looks like a good date. And it happened to be the second sailing. But I do know the cabins are extremely limited on that ship right now. And booking it in October, again, we said, look, if you're going out on an inaugural cruise, things are just not going to work right. Well, for us, we weren't going to fly all the way to Europe and then have the inaugural cruise not be great on Sun Princess. So we waited for the ship to come here. We purposely set up this group in October, knowing that the ship was coming out in February. In fact, it's supposed to be out in January, I think. And knowing that by the time she gets here in October, they should have everything figured out. And hopefully they will. Cindy, is the Sun Princess dining set time or anytime? That's a great question.
The answer is yes.
Yeah, so the answer is yes, and supposedly tomorrow. So Princess shut down all of the main dining advanced reservations about 2 months ago. I think they finally shut it all down. Tomorrow is supposed to reopen. So what they did on the Sun Princess, the Sun Princess has three decks, 3 levels of their main dining room. One level is set time, so it's your traditional set time. I want to say 5:30, 7:30, something like that. You will have the same table. You'll have the same waiters every single night. I think it's the middle level. That is a make a reservation at any time. So you can make reservations in advance. You can make reservations on the ship, and you can make a reservation for any time between 5:30 and say 9 o'clock. It's not a set time. It's just you reserve and you go in just like a regular restaurant. And then the top level is just walk up. So that has proven to be extremely popular on the Sun Princess. So Princess is now rolling that out across the fleet. The dining reservations were supposed to open, I think, 2 weeks ago. Now they're supposed to open tomorrow. So we'll wait to see July 1st. The dining reservations are supposed to reopen. So Princess is now going to have all 3 types of dining available on every one of their ships. You will have your set time. So same table, same waiters every night. You will make a reservation anytime you want, or just simply walk up. And of course, part of the problem is on the smaller ship, there's only 2 dining rooms. So they kind of had to figure out. So my assumption is that one of the dining rooms will be the set time, and then the other one will be split half and half between reservations and walk up. Yeah. But on the Sun Princess, they did have the room. They actually designed it so it would have 3 levels. They designed it that way specifically to do the 3 levels and 3 different types of dining. And it has proven to be incredibly popular. So they're going to go ahead and continue on with that. Good morning, Brandy. How are you? Thanks so much for joining in. Again, I'll remind everybody we are Where's Walter Travel. I'm Walter with my lovely wife, Rebecca, sitting right off camera. Our services are 100% free to you. We book cruises, land, luxury, and expedition. In fact, our land tour business is actually really starting to grow. We've got some amazing land tour partners. We're putting together an incredible 50th anniversary trip right now that's going to have a rather large cruise. Plus, there's going to be a whole land tour component put onto there. And we've done multiple trips like that as well. Hey, Nene, good to see you. Brandy, always looking for travel tips. Well, we do our best. We do our best. And we certainly do enjoy trying our best to answer all of your questions as well. Where do I want to go back to? I want to go back to our Margaritaville experience, because you all know that we did not, that was the one cruise line that I was absolutely not going to promote. I wasn't going to sell. I wasn't going to do anything with them. And then they reached out and told me, what they were planning with the Islander and what was coming along. And now I can tell you that there are more ships in the fleet planned. There's actually quite a few more ships in the fleet that are planned, which is going to be absolutely incredible. I don't know if I'm permitted to say how many ships. I was told a pretty high number.
We heard a lot of different numbers.
We heard a lot of different numbers, but from the executives, we heard some pretty big numbers out there. But there's definitely another one at least coming.
And this is probably a very long-term plan.
It is. So Barbara, Hurricane Barrel now a 3, expected to be a 4 by Wednesday. I know that is a big. So again, with the hurricanes, ships can move. And in fact, I saw a notice from Royal Caribbean about the Icon of the Seas, and being concerned about the hurricane and all that. And one of the things it did say in the letter is we can outrun it, and the ships can. I mean, most hurricanes are moving. I don't know what their speeds are, but a ship like the Icon of the Seas can push about 22 knots. So they can actually outrun the storm should they have to do it. And they will do it if they have to. But for the most part, what those ships are going to do is they're going to stay at least 100 miles away, because even 100 miles away, you got the waves kind of coming in, and they want to make the cruise as comfortable as possible for the guests. And, people are like, oh, should I be concerned about the hurricane? Should I be concerned about the hurricane? The worst thing that happens with a hurricane, just in terms of a traveler, now, obviously, when it hits the islands and all of that, that's the worst thing for all of those people. But as a traveler, just talking as a traveler, what's going to happen to my plans? If the hurricane hits the home port, that is the most disruptive thing that can actually happen, because that could delay the ship from coming in. It could prevent you from getting there. That is the most disruptive thing. The hurricane actually being out in the Caribbean while you're either going out on a cruise or you're already on a cruise, that's just simply going to change the itinerary. That's all that's going to do. The ship is going to go to different places. It could get a little uncomfortable out there. I mean, when we came out of Cozumel, it was uncomfortable. We had a 5-degree list because it was a big old storm blew up, and we were getting 62 knot winds broadside on the ship. And what we found out later was that, there were some people saying, well, why doesn't the captain shift the ballast so that the ship comes back up? And we found out later that the captain actually purposely stabilized it in the list, because had he brought it up to vertical, the ship then would have been going back and forth. And it was just more comfortable for all the passengers just to simply leave it in a lean rather than just having it going back and forth. So that's a very interesting thing. And that's why I always, it always makes me laugh when people try to question the captain and the first officers. It's like they have a lot more knowledge than we do. They've been doing this a long time, and they understand what the ship can and cannot do and what the ship is supposed to do. And I just thought that was a very interesting learning lesson for me, because I was kind of wondering the same thing. Because you were literally, if you were walking from starboard to port, you were walking uphill to go that way. And if you're trying to walk straight, back, it was kind of an angle. But it was an interesting educational lesson just to say, look, for the guests, it's actually more comfortable if I just leave it rather than straighten it up. And all of a sudden we're going back and forth, which would have been really uncomfortable for all. We've been in that before. That is not comfortable at all. But sometimes you can't help it. Like we were on the Norwegian Escape, and it wasn't even storms. There were just these big rolling swells. And we happened to be going parallel to them. And the ship was just doing this thing, just kind of going back and forth. And there was nothing the ship could do. It was just a big old rocking back and forth. Good morning, cruising. It's fun. How are you? Cruising is fun anytime, isn't it? I love it. I love it. Hey, Aaron, how are you? You are just days away from a celebrity. My goodness, it is here, isn't it? Wow, the Celebrity Reflection Cruise is coming up. You're welcome for helping you with your booking. I mean, we do love it. We do love it. We have a lot of fun doing what we do. And I'm so glad that we could help you guys out. It's a birthday cruise. What is it? It's your sister, right? I think it's your sister's birthday. Oh my God, that's going to be so much fun. And getting out there with groups and things like that. Oh my God, we love getting out there with the groups as well. And I'm going to bring up Alaska one more time, especially since it's so hot here today. It's like, I think it's about 92 out here right now where we're sitting. So let's talk about Alaska, where it's nice and cool. And by the way, Alaska, I've been seeing so many great things. About Alaska this year. It looks like the weather has really been great for a lot of people. Shelly, you're supposed to go on the reflection on Friday to the Bahamas. Should you be worried? Again, watch the track. The biggest concern, I think the reflection, is that going out of Miami or is that going out of Fort Lauderdale?
I think Fort Lauderdale.
I think it's going out of Fort Lauderdale. So what you really need to be
I'm not entirely positive.
Yeah. I think that ship goes out of Fort Lauderdale. So really the biggest concern is, will that impact Fort Lauderdale? If it's not going to impact Fort Lauderdale, that ship may have to go somewhere else. That's all. It may not go to the Bahamas. It may go to Bermuda. It may, we don't really know. And Friday is a long way away. So if you're looking at all the tracks and the models and all of that, all of those models are going to change. So we just have to wait. The biggest impact for us as a traveler is it going to hit the home port? And in your case, I believe that's Fort Lauderdale.
Or Miami. They're both close.
Yeah, they're so close anyway. That would be the biggest impact to you as a traveler. Obviously, to the islands too. If it hits the Bahamas, well, there's no place to go because the Bahamas are going to be damaged, and now the ship can't go there. So that's the other impact, and of course, that's the horrible impact of all of this. We get inconvenienced. Oh man, we can't get to the ship, or we can't go to the island we want to go to. But the people actually on the islands, that's just that's the big impact, and you just feel horrible. We were on the Celebrity Equinox for 10 or 11 nights during Hurricane Irma. And we were not impacted at all. We had some of the best weather we've ever had. But just watching the news on the ship and seeing like some of the islands that we were supposed to go to, it was just horrible to watch. So for you as a traveler, your biggest inconvenience will be if it hits the home port. So,
but don't stress too badly.
Yeah, don't stress too badly just yet. Friday is a long ways away. John is saying hopefully the hurricane is going to stay in the Southern Caribbean, Bahamas, Florida, Virgin Islands, and Dominican Republic. Should be good. Who knows? We'll see. Grand Cayman and Cozumel could be an issue late next week. Again, Mother Nature is very interesting. So where the storm is going now and where the storm actually ends up later should be very interesting. So, hey, Jeremy and Cheryl, thanks so much for joining in. Alex wants to know if there's any update on our Hawaii group cruise. Well, the schedules are not posted yet. So
not all the schedules.
Exactly. Well, not all the schedule that we want to see. So what he's talking about is we're planning on a Los Angeles to Hawaii loop in 2026. We're going to do a big group cruise. So we're just waiting. We're actually waiting on Viking. It's what we're waiting on right now. We want to see the Viking schedules because we're looking at those. So that's going to be amazing.
I think there may be some other cruise lines, but if I'm going to have that many sea days, I want to be on one of my more top tier cruise lines and not say something that I'm not as fond of. I like all of them for different reasons.
Right. Well, there's honestly
some that I like slightly more.
There's honestly not a whole lot of them that actually do that run. So
I haven't looked. I didn't even look at. Well, I know Holland goes out of San Diego.
San Diego, keep it classy, everybody.
Celebrity only does repositioning from Hawaii to Vancouver. They don't really do a regular run from LA. Right. So
we're looking around.
Limited.
Princess is certainly in the running as well. Princess does the run from LA, but and I was actually kind of surprised. We're kind of waiting to see what Virgin's going to do as well because they're going to have the Brilliant Lady. I was very surprised that they didn't do one Hawaii run before they send it up to Alaska. So I'm very curious to see what they're going to do when it comes back from Alaska. The Brilliant Lady will be in LA for a very short window of like 2 or 3 cruises in March of 26. And then she heads up, she'll be in Seattle from May for the Alaska season. So we're kind of also taking a look at that as well. So, yeah. Super Nurse, your first cruise July 12th on the Ovation, Alaska, and you wanted to book a Caribbean cruise with us. Well, just reach out. Actually, I think we've talked. Have we talked? I think we've talked. I can't remember. I'm so sorry. But yeah, Ovation in Alaska. I think I just booked somebody on that in Alaska too. We've booked so many Alaska cruises. I'll tell you what, Alaska is big on your list, people. We are booking so many Alaska cruises. I feel like I know it inside, outside, backwards, upside down, forward. It's one of our favorite destinations. I cannot wait to get back there next year. So the first time we went, we did the 14-day Princess. We did 7 days on land, 7 days at sea. This time we're going to do 12 nights on the Oceania Riviera. So it's going to be a completely different experience, but it should be a heck of a lot of fun. Kenneth, how are you, man? Good to see you. Thanks so much for joining in. Thanks so much for sharing all of your pictures in the Facebook group. Hey, folks, if you're not in our private Facebook group yet, I know there's links in the, I think there's links in the description on YouTube and everything else. And I know if you click my logo on TikTok, there's a link to come join the private Facebook group. We got around 600 people. It's a nice little private group, a nice little, it's a positive space in social media. There's not many of them anymore, but it's a nice positive space in social media. So come and join. Wow, Philly rules. Your first cruise was 1973 on the Song of Norway and Royal Caribbean. Wow. I recently posted a picture in our Facebook group of an old sign at Port Miami, and the Song of Norway was one of the directional signs on there. That was absolutely awesome. Wow. Our first cruise was 2006 on the Caribbean Princess. So there you go, people. There's the question for everybody. What was your first cruise? When and what was your first cruise? I'd love to hear in the comments from everybody. Let's see what everybody did. So us, 2006, Caribbean Princess, 14 days back to back, and I did not want to go on the cruise. So let's hear from you guys. I want to know what was your very first ship and when was it? Gavin wants to know if we're going on the Utopia of the Seas. The answer is yes. We don't know when yet. But yeah, we are going to go. We have not booked our time. I really want to see the Pesky Parrot because I love the bamboo bar on the Voyager class. So let's see. Super Nurse, can you get a better deal if you book with RC while on the Ovation cruise along with you? Always go to the next cruise desk and see what the offer is. They usually have perks that are only available on the ship. You can always transfer the cruise to us later, but I always encourage everybody to go to the next cruise desk to see what the offers are. If you're not sure if it's a good deal, you can always reach out, and I'll let you know if it's a good deal. All right, wow, they're coming in fast and furious. Sue Stobing, 1995 on the Love Boat to Mexico. Mary, 1977 on the Carnival. Betty Sims, 2009 Carnival Conquest. I got 2008 Enchantment of the Seas. 96 Carnival Celebration. Oh, the original. 1973 Sitmar Cruise Fairwind. Oh my goodness, I got to look that one up. Carnival Valor 2002. September 23 Carnival Sunrise. Welcome to the cruising family. Norwegian Spirit 2010 out of NOLA. Let me get over here. I got the Norwegian Windward. Oh my God, Norwegian Windward 1993. Kenneth 2022 on Virgin. Cruising is fun. My first cruise was Carnival Dream 2011. John, Carnival Millennium, October 22. Celeste, another Sitmar's Fairwind, 1984. Princess later bought them out. Oh my goodness gracious. Kathy, it was 2010. And Eric, last June, 7-Day Alaska was your first on NCL Encore. We got Alyssa, Royal Caribbean, Sovereign of the Seas, 97. Caribbean Princess, can't remember the year. We'll just call it 2006. How about that? Last cruise did was 2023 Resilient. And Vicky, 1987 Carnival Festival. Wow, some of the old classics. Becky, first ship with the Regal Princess in 93, Panama Canal. Oh, that must have been the Regal Princess. Yeah, wow, that's a classic. 2017 Hal, New Amsterdam in Alaska. Wow, some good ships out here, people. Y'all went out on some great ships, and I am loving the Sitmar's Fairwind. I need to look that one up. We got a couple of people who went out on that one. You're welcome, Super Nurse. Yeah. Always happy to help. Look, folks, we're always happy to try to assist. Now, the one thing that I can't assist with, I've had a few of you reach out and go, hey, I booked it directly, or a few of you have even said, hey, look, I booked with another travel agent, but I'm not getting information. Can you help me with this? I can't. If you book with somebody else and you're asking me to provide advice about travel that I did not book, we do not offer any information. We do not offer any assistance because there are lawyers out there, unfortunately. So yeah, unfortunately, I did have one of our clients who booked through somebody else and got upset with me because he wanted help on something because he booked it with another travel agency. I just can't help. I can't offer advice on travel that we have not booked. So I hope you guys understand that. KR Far, how are you? You've never cruised, but you want to book one, and now my feed is filled with cruises. See, that's what happened. You told your phone you wanted a cruise, and now everybody is coming in. Hey, just reach out. I've said it before. Our cruises. I don't even know what I'm saying. Our services are 100% free. So if you'd like some help, we've been cruising almost 20 years, and that is one of our specialties. So we do not charge a dime for our services, and we'd be more than happy to help you. In fact, that's one of the things I love doing is helping people get on the right ship. That's the most important thing. Everybody, well, what cruise line should I take? What cruise should I take? What ship should you take? That's the most important thing, because the ship needs to match up with what you want and what you want to get out of your vacation. If you get on the wrong ship, and we have heard from people who are like, yeah, I tried cruising and it wasn't what I expected. I thought I was going to have this. And then it's like, well, what ship did you go on? Oh, I went on this ship. It's like, well, that was not the ship to go on for what you wanted to do. So in order to give yourself the best chance to enjoy cruising, then, we need to get you on the right ship. Liz went on 2000 on a Carnival holiday. We got another 1973 Song of Norway, 50,000 tons. That's amazing. The Oceana Serena that we sailed for Christmas is only 30,000 gross tons. So yeah, nice small ship. 1 year after the Poseidon Adventure preview. That's hilarious. I love it. Virgie, do we offer better savings than what the cruise lines will offer? Most often, no. Most often, our pricing is exactly the same. What we offer, there are a couple of things that we do offer. One, you don't have to deal with the cruise lines. You just have to. So when you book directly with the cruise lines, you have to call their 1-800 call center for just about everything you want. More often than not, we can take care of whatever you guys need just by logging into our booking engine, taking care of things for you. We do try to add some sort of a perk or an amenity to your booking when we can. We can't always do that, but when we can. And then when things go sideways, because things do go sideways, and we've had multiple clients with things that went sideways, we have direct connections at all the cruise lines that you guys don't. And I think that's actually the strongest perk of working with a travel advisor. Like I just had some clients who had to cancel last minute, literally the day before the cruise. They had to cancel. I'm not going to say the cruise line. I'm not going to say my advisor, but they should have lost all of their money. And it was a very tough situation of why they had to cancel. So instead of them trying to plead their case with somebody on the phone who was just going to go, nope, I'm so sorry, we can't do anything for you because you're in a cancellation policy. We got a 75% future cruise credit for them that they should not have been awarded. But because I pleaded my case to my representative went and talked to the rest of the team, and they said, you know what, we fully understand what happened. We can't give 100%, but we're going to give them 75% back. That's something that you most likely would not have gotten had you gone directly. And again, I'm not going to say the cruise line. I'm not going to say the rep's name because they don't do that all the time. You have to have a good working relationship with these representatives. You need to work. You need to be a good working partner with them. I can't just go at them every single time I need something. I need, and then they just start tuning you out. I work with them, and we try to offer solutions. So I think that's actually the best thing. People are always like, I've had people bring me quotes from Vacation to Go. Look at this great price on Vacation to Go, and I show them my price is exactly the same. It's just the way that they present the price until you get it into the cart. All of a sudden, it's like, oh yeah, your price is exactly the same. So the cruise lines control the pricing. Nobody can undercut the cruise lines. The only time that we can quote unquote undercut the cruise line is for groups, when we establish a group rate, like with Norwegian Cruise Line, with Oceana, with Margaritaville Sea. We do have better pricing than the public right now for our group cruises. And then other times, like right now, Norwegian is allowing us to give up to $200 onboard credit. That is only for select agents. You can't get that onboard credit if you call Norwegian Cruise Line. You can only get it from me if you book 7 nights or higher, and you book a balcony or higher. So there are certain perks that we can give, but it's not always about getting the best price. And that's why I get emails all the time from people. Hey, Walt, can you just tell me how much this is? And if you want to get on a call with me and I'll take some information about you and see what I can do, then I'll be more than happy to provide pricing. But if all you care about is just price, then just go use those online services and or just go directly to the cruise line. But if you want to have personalized service, that can help you not only with the cruise, but your entire vacation planning, and I can plan things way beyond cruises, then, you come work with us. Yeah. But, oh, Betty, you are so nice. You are so nice. Walter and Rebecca are fabulous travel agents. If you have tried them and are new, give them a try. You will not regret. Betty, you are so kind. We're not perfect. I'm going to be the first to say we are not perfect. We appreciate all the kind words, but we know that, there are some clients that we have let down, and we take ownership of that. When something doesn't go right, we learn from it, and we keep instituting new processes, new procedures. We've got a whole new client portal system that we're using now. And we try to make things better. So we know we're not perfect, but we absolutely try. We absolutely try. So Philly was 12 when you went on your first cruise. Time for fun. Oh, you like our personalized service? We always answer quickly. I try to answer all of our emails within 3 to 24 hours. I don't always get it, but I try. I really do try. So
you will admit the preview of Margaritaville was
yeah, that threw us for a complete loop because we had no Wi-Fi for 2 days. Benny was on the Norwegian Cruise Line Seward in 1984. Bill Guru was on the Scarlet Lady in 2023. We booked that. And Aaron Ross was on the Golden Princess in 2013. Wow. And Kathy is saying hit the likes. Thank you, Kathy. I do appreciate that. And Emily was on the Disney Magic in September 2021. That's awesome. And your fiance's first cruise was on the Virgin Voyages Valiant Lady a few weeks ago. That's totally awesome. I love it. I'm loving this. If you're just tuning in and you didn't hear the question, my question was, what was your very first cruise? What was the ship and what was the year? If you do remember it, we were the Caribbean Princess, and it was our 10th wedding anniversary. I was all excited when we booked it, and as we were getting closer to it, I really didn't want to go. I mean, I did not want to go. And then finally, Miss Rebecca over here says, well, I'm going on the cruise. You can go or you can stay home. I don't know if that's how she did it, but that's how I picture it in my head. You can go or you can stay home. This is how I picture it. And so I was like, fine, I'll just go. Can we get this over with? 14 days on a ship. I'm going to hate it. We'll do it once. We're never going to go again. That was almost 20 years ago. I think I know we booked at least one cruise. We may have booked 2 cruises like within the first 3 days of being on the ship. So yeah, I love it. Hey, Jay, have we been on an MSC cruise and what are our thoughts? You're watching us on TikTok. I actually have a playlist for MSC on TikTok. We've been on the seaside. We've been on the seashore. They are absolutely beautiful ships. Where they shoot themselves in the foot is the service and the food. It is really inconsistent. It's inconsistent from sailing to sailing. It can be inconsistent day to day. Overall, we really enjoyed it. The ships are beautiful. The pools were amazing. We didn't go hungry. We didn't like everything we ate, but then, that happens on every cruise. And the service there, I don't want to say it was like rude, but it was just like, it wasn't always as friendly as we're used to. It's just like I don't want to say they didn't care, but it was there wasn't that attention to customer service that we're used to getting on pretty much every other cruise line. But will we sell them again? Yeah, absolutely we will. Do we book clients on them? Absolutely we do. We qualify our clients and we let them know. We like to be very honest with our clients about what you're getting yourself into, so that there are no surprises when you go on there and you're like, well, I thought it was. If you expect MSC to be another cruise line, you will be disappointed, because MSC is its own animal. So you have to accept MSC for what they are. They are not Royal, they're not Carnival, they're not Norwegian, they're not anybody else. They are MSC. So yeah, we would go back on them. Jada, 1996 Carnival Fascination. 2008 Carnival Elation for your honeymoon. Yay! First cruise was Liberty. 2023, and you're going on the Wonder in 25. I love it. Vicky is saying the same thing happened with your husband this February for your 30th. Oh, he didn't want to go and then he liked it. I love it. Aaron is saying he didn't love his first cruise, but now he's addicted. And that's the thing. Some people, you may not like the first cruise, and it just may not have been the right ship or the right itinerary or whatever, I'm really glad you gave it another option, another chance. JN 2022 Carnival Panorama Mexican Riviera. You loved it, and you loved the pools on the MSC Seashore. I'm telling you, the pools are great. MSC looks like a fun, cheap option. I tell you what, you cannot argue with the price on MSC. For us, and I think we still kind of stick by this. We think the overall cruise experience on MSC is like a 7 to 7.5, 7.5 out of 10, but the value is about an 8.5 on MSC. So it's not the best cruise experience in the world, but for what you're paying for it, and to me, they have the best private island in the Caribbean. I love their private island in the Caribbean. I do. Ocean Key is absolutely fabulous. But you've been on a Carnival cruise. You had a blast. You have a Royal Caribbean plan for August on the Allure. Yeah, so as long as you accept MSC for what it is, you will have a great time. Donna B, MSC is great. You just got off Seashore. Your grandkids had a blast and the best bang for your buck. I know you said the best band, but I'm assuming you said the best bang for your buck. And they have good bands on there. But yeah, I think that's a great thing. And Donna, you bring up a great point. The splash pads that they have, well, not the splash pad, but the whole kids' water area that they have on the C-class ship, the Seaside class ships. We have heard multiple parents say they like it more than Disney. They like it more than Royal Caribbean. They like it more than Carnival. That actual water play area for the kids, they think it's the best water play area at sea. And I have to say it. I can see why they say that. There's just a lot for those kids to do in there. So I think MSC really did a great job on that. Buckeye, you're going on Oceania in November in Athens. Oh my word. Yeah. So we're going back on Oceania in Alaska, the Oceania Riviera in June. Oceania is a fabulous cruise line. Fabulous cruise line. Not for everybody, but it is a fabulous cruise line. We had so much fun. Brandy, your first cruise was a Sovereign of the Seas on Royal Caribbean in 27. I love it. And Jason's going on the Islander very shortly. In December to Cozumel. Have a great time. John is thinking that perhaps the World America will change the conceptions for the brand. I do not know, because it's a bigger ship with more chances to screw it up. To be honest with you, if you have inconsistent service and food on a ship that big, it could make it worse, to be honest with you. It's going to be interesting because it is the first ship that's designed specifically for the American audience. So it's going to be the first one that has the comedy club. And it's just going to be interesting to see what they do with this ship and how is it going to be different from the Seaside class. So it could either be a complete game changer for them that, oh my God, now it just opens up MSC to an American audience, or it could just be like, oh man, they just, it's still the same. It's still the same. I have heard that they have tried to bring in some people to really, straighten up the unevenness, of the service and the food. But that is a family-run company, and I've heard that they've kind of like run into some issues with the family because the family has the last say on everything. So we'll see. I'm excited for this World America. I want to get on that World America. She looks like she's going to be amazing. And of course, it's going to be very interesting to see the difference between the Oasis class and that. It's going to be really interesting when she's in Miami because she's going to be parked right in front of the Icon if she goes out on the same day. So you're literally going to have the Icon in the World America nose to tail. So that's going to be really, really interesting to see how that looks. Kathy, you've only cruised on Carnival and NCL, but looking to venture out, you like longer cruises. So that's really cool. And longer cruises are fun. Anything 10 nights or over gets to be a lot of fun. We did 12 nights for the holidays. That was Christmas and New Year's. That was absolutely lovely. We've been eyeing some that are even in the 20 range, 2021 range. That's just really lovely to be out there. Now, in our case, because we are travel advisors, we need to make sure that we have decent Wi-Fi on the ship. So that's the only nerve-wracking part of it, is when we go out there, we need to make sure that we're still in touch with people, which was just those 2 nights just killed us on the Islander when we had no Wi-Fi. But they do have Starlink on the Islander, and
worked very hard.
It worked very hard to get it better. I now know who's in charge of it on the Islander. Longer cruises are nice. And the tricky thing about longer cruises, especially if you're sailing out of Florida and the Caribbean, or even in Europe, is whether they're a true longer cruise or they're back to back. So, and the reason why that's so different It's because on a true longer cruise, a true cruise that is over 7 or 10 days long, it's going to leave the home port. It's going to go do all of its things, and then it's going to come back to the home port. Or maybe it's just going to end up at another port at the end of the cruise. There will be far fewer children on there. Now, if it's a 21-day cruise, but it's 3 7-night back to back to back, that means families are going to be coming on for 7 nights at a time. So it changes the dynamic. So, a lot of times when people say they want a longer cruise, it's like we try to find the cruises that are a true long cruise, not a back-to-back.
Because there are certain cruise lines, such as Princess and Holland America, that will sell them as one cruise, even though they are 3 back to back to back.
Yeah. John was saying he never thought about that with Port Miami. Yeah, the new MSC terminal is smack in front of the Icon of the Seas. So that's going to be just really interesting. And I believe MSC said that terminal can hold 3 ships, which is very interesting. And I was trying to think about that. When would they ever send out 3 ships? But they might be thinking in terms of 1 ship visiting Miami while the other 2 are sending out. I thought I heard a number of like 35,000 people can pass through the new terminal once it's built. It's huge. It is absolutely huge, but it's going to be very cool with, you're going to have Icon sitting there. You're going to have the World America sitting there. It's going to be like, wow. And I would not be surprised at all to see MSC line it up that they're both on Saturday so that people on the Icon have to see the World America. Why not? Splash Man, not your first cruise, but you sailed on Valiant Lady last week. Caricature was awesome. That is so cool. Valiant Lady, great ship. We've been on Scarlet and Valiant. I really want to go on Resilient. Resilient is the one that arguably has some of the best entertainment. They have some of the newer entertainment. Supposedly, when Scarlet comes out of dry dock in October, she is going to have some new entertainment. So I'm hoping, because she's had the same entertainment for a while now. So I'm hoping. Hey, Kathy says Tom is transitioning to retirement, but when he still worked, we would just do one long one a year. You love the transatlantic. I can't wait to do our first transatlantic. I'm so excited about it. It will most likely be on the QM2, the Queen Mary 2 on Cunard. We're just going to go classic and do it. And then, if we go in September, October, or we go in August, September, I really do want to try to line it up with a ship coming back to Florida, because that would just be so fun to not have to do, our only flight would be to New York. From Orlando to New York, just a nice little domestic flight. That would be killer. And it's funny how many clients I have been talking about it, who are, if you have the time, look, flights overseas right now are expensive, but on the Queen Mary 2, they do the trip in 6 days, and we have seen it as low as $1,500 for 2 people in an interior. Yes, it takes you 6 days to get there. Yes, you're in an interior, but you're also getting that Cunard service on the way over versus jamming yourself into a plane going to the airport and all that good stuff. All you got to do is do a domestic flight to New York to get there if you're in the U.S. So Outlaw goes on the Mardi Gras in October. Great ship. Let me tell you, the what's the name of the bar? The Fortune Teller bar is not a gimmick. It is a really good bar. I was not prepared to I just figured, it's just going to be a gimmick. They do the bubbles, whatever. The New Moon drink. I hope they're still serving that New Moon drink. It's a black drink. It is so good. If you like mezcal, it is a really, really good drink there. And all the drinks that I had at the Fortune Teller bar was fabulous. That is a great ship. Shack chicken is addictive. I know it's a heretic to talk this way, but I never had a guy's burger on the Mardi Gras because I kept going back for Shack chicken. Kept going back for Shack chicken. Hey, Aaron, a bar I can recommend on the Celebrity Reflection for the best old fashioned. That's easy. It's where I had the best old fashioned I've had to date, other than the nutty old fashioned on Virgin Voyages. That's the World Class Bar. The World Class Bar is the quiet one. It is on your way to the theater.
Near all the high-end shops.
Yeah, I think that if it's still there, the Breitling watches are going to be there, whatever they call it. But the World Class Bar on Celebrity, they have a menu, and they only make those drinks. They do not make any old drink there. It's a high-end. It's a high-end craft bar. And they make one of the best old fashions I've ever had on the ship. It is there it is. Yeah, John just said the same thing. He goes, it's the bar on the way to the theater. It's called the World Class Bar. I would grab what I would do when we were going to the theater. We would just have a drink and enjoy a drink there, or I would grab my drink, take it to the theater, and then usually by the time the show's over, I come back out and I get another drink there. The drinks are like $14, $16 there. But when I get a drink, I'm not drinking all night long. I want a good drink. I like to have a good drink, and I don't mind paying $14, $16, $18 because I'm only going to get one, maybe two a night. I don't do the whole drink packet thing because it's a waste of money for me. So yeah, so that is a really, really good. The world-class bar is really, that is the one. Lori's going on to Mirabilia again in September. Have an amazing time. Jada said you like some of the stops that some repositioning trips make. So a standard, all the other cruise lines, when they do their repositioning, they're going to add stops to entice people to come. Now, the Queen Mary 2 is the last basic ocean. She's basically an ocean liner. She will do 30 plus, usually transatlantics a year. So she's just running back and forth. She's literally just running it back and forth. It's not like these transatlantic where we're going to do 12 and 15 stops just to get people to pay for it. All the other cruise lines could do it in just 5 or 6 days. Boom, just shoot the ship over. So on the Queen Mary 2, it truly is unique that at almost any time of the year, we can send you to Europe or from Europe back to New York on a ship. And she's the only one doing it regularly. And I hope that Cunard will continue that for a long time because it is super, super cool. Midwest Katie, you need ideas for where to stay in Amsterdam for a celebrity cruise a year from August. Oh man, I don't have any of that offhand, but and now the interesting thing is to a year from August, I wonder where the ship is going to be because Amsterdam is making changes. They're going to be moving the ships out of the city. So it's going to be very interesting. Keep an eye on that, Katie, to see whether or not your ship is actually going to be leaving from Amsterdam or if it will be moved by then, because Amsterdam voted this past week that they are going to move all the ocean ships out of the city. They're going to move it to a different port. And I want to say that's going to start in 25, but I know that a lot of that depends on how quickly they can get the new port built. I know the new port's supposed to be built within 2 years. So keep an eye on that, Katie, before. So here's the deal. If you're going to book a hotel right now, make sure it's refundable so that you can always change it. So you can always change it. So yeah, so it's a British Isles cruise, but check to see where, because right now that ship is going to be leaving from Amsterdam, but it might not be next year. Some of the cruises are actually going to move to Rotterdam. I did read that Rotterdam is going to maintain their cruise port. So some of them will move over there. But I know Amsterdam's going to build a new port somewhere. I saw the news this past week. So keep an eye on that. And if you book something for Amsterdam, anybody going to Amsterdam in 25, 26 for a cruise, book a hotel that has a refundable deposit because you may have to move somewhere else. Or you may want to move somewhere else to be closer to the ship. So yeah. Favorite specialty restaurant on Celebrity? It's not there anymore. It was called Cuisine. Now it's Le Petit Chef. But Cuisine was one of our favorite restaurants at sea too. It was a tapas restaurant and it was phenomenal. But now it's Le Petit Chef. I would say the Murano is still. I love that lobster dish at Murano. That's absolutely amazing. We've not done the Le Petit Chef with the whole dinner theater, but a lot of our clients have, and they love it. Absolutely love it. So I think next time we get on Celebrity, we will have to go try it finally to see what it's all about. But I will say that Tuscan Grill is better lunch. It's not the best Italian. Maybe it's better now, but for my money, the Tuscan Grill on Celebrity is a better lunch than dinner. So yeah. Alex is saying you can't wait for our live stream with Tips for Travelers with Gary. That was actually supposed to be today, but because he hadn't been able to do a live stream in a couple of weeks and he just got back from Alaska, we pushed it back a couple of weeks. I think it's 2 weeks from today. But if you didn't know, Gary Bembry, Tips for Travelers, has invited me to join his live stream, which actually comes on like right after this at noontime. And it was supposed to be today, but we're going to do it, I think, in 2 weeks because he hadn't been able to do one. And he knew that a lot of people were going to want to talk about. He just did biking in Alaska. So he's doing that, and we're gonna catch up in a couple of weeks. But I can't wait. Gary, I'll tell you what. Gary Bembridge, first of all, you all should be following him because he is like the godfather of cruising on YouTube and all the social channels. He has so much great information. I got to tell you, he is one of the nicest people I've had the pleasure of getting to know. I've only met him through video chats. We've had some video chats, and he is just the most lovely person. He's just so incredible. So yeah, so within a couple of weeks, we will be talking, and yeah, we'll be talking about Cunard and a younger audience. The French girl, did I get a chance to discuss vegan options with the cruise director for the island? Or actually, yeah, I posted a video that same day.
Not the cruise director, but the.
Yeah, the vice
VP
president of food and beverage. So I actually posted a TikTok that same day because I happened to interview him that same day. So yeah, if you go in there, yes, there are vegan options throughout the ship. And if you want to know more about it, there's about a 1.5 minute TikTok in my Margaritaville at Sea playlist. And I have a full 15-minute interview with him that'll be coming up. I've got an interview with ZJ, the cruise director, that I need to post. I have an interview with the casino director. By the way, the casino on the Margaritaville Islander is 100% non-smoking. And I have an interview with Taylor, who does all the itineraries for Margaritaville. So I have 4 interviews that I shot on that ship, actually 5, including Greg from the groups department that I need to post. I just haven't had time. So Emily, let you know if we're in London. Love to show you around. Trust me, if I am coming to London, you are going to be the first to know. I've already talked to Gary about that as well. You know, if I come over to London, hanging out with him. Yeah, absolutely. You're going to know that we're coming. That's interesting. John is saying that on the celebrity ships, he liked Murano more than Lumine, and Lumine is the suite restaurant. But you know, that kind of makes sense, John, because you are paying a premium to go specifically to Murano, whereas Lumine is your suite restaurant. So it's an elevated main dining experience for sure. But yeah, I think Murano, that lobster dish is phenomenal on there. So hey, Tara, how are you? Good to see you. Jay, do we recommend solo cruising? Yeah, solo cruising is the fastest growing segment in cruising right now. Last year, they were 10% of all cruises. And yet we're still getting a lot of, we're still not getting the best solo options from cruise lines. You really need to know where to look. That's another advantage of working with I know I keep talking about working with a travel advisor like ourselves. And keep in mind, there's a lot of people out there. There's a lot of really good ones out there. It's not just us. So when you work with a travel advisor, we help you find the best deal for a solo traveler. Like, did you know there is a river cruise line that has 40 departures that are solos only? Just solos. There's nobody but a solo on the trip. And they have solo. River cruising is actually the most open to solo travelers and has some of the best deals over the ocean cruise lines, believe it or not. They have a lot of great deals on the solo traveling. But, Norwegian Cruise Line, of course, has the studio. The Virgin Voyages has solo. Celebrity has some solo. Royal Caribbean has well over 200 solo cabins. You got to know where they are. Holland America has some. Abbey Road, what hotel would I recommend in Rome? I don't know that off the top of my head. I've got a list of 20 hotels that we keep. So I don't have one off the top of my head that I could recommend. That is not something I keep in my Rolodex. But we do have about 20 that we recommend to clients. We got about 20 in Rome, 25 in Athens. So yeah, we keep that list in our office, so we don't have to remember that. But yeah, sorry, I can't just help you right off the top of my head. And of course, that also depends on what you're looking for too. Like some of our clients, they want that more Marriott or high-end hotels, and other people just want just give me a bed. Just give me a bed that's somewhat convenient to the cruise ships, and that's it. So yeah, I'm sorry I can't give you an answer off the top of my head. But yeah, solo cruising, we talked about that at a cruise conference this year, how it is the fastest growing segment. Ocean lines are going to have to respond better than they are right now. I think, I think people are getting tired of the 200% supplement, the 100% supplement, paying for that second person not in the cabin. We know why it's there. It's because of the lifeboats, but still, I think cruise lines need to start getting better about being more accepting of a solo traveler. And what's really funny is, you go back to the cruise line that started it all, Princess and the Love Boat, and everybody was a solo traveler. So, I'm hoping that the cruise lines start offering better options for solos instead of just making them pay for that second person that's not there. That'll be really good to see that start coming along. But Virgin Voyages is a great cruise line. Norwegian's a great cruise line for solos. And then, like I said, the river cruise line, there's a lot of options for solo travelers on river cruise line too, if you want to start getting into that. Smaller cruise lines like Oceania, they have solo cabins. I don't know about Viking. I really don't know if Viking has them or not. But no, there are options out there, and it also depends on what you want to do. So most every cruise line is going to have a solo gathering. Like the first night, there might be somebody from the crew there that first night to greet you all at wherever the venue is. And usually every night after that, there's still the gathering, but it's just going to be on your own. So, Tristan, thoughts on Carnival? Been told not to because of cheap, and you get what you pay for. Your thoughts? I mean, you have to understand. So every cruise line, you can say, well, you got what you pay for. So you have to. I don't know what you're expecting. So there's no reason to avoid Carnival.
And the Carnival experience, even amongst the various ships, can vary quite a bit.
Absolutely.
And if you're going on a 3-night itinerary, it's going to be
Party.
a lot different experience than if you go on the 7-night.
Exactly.
So
or a 10
Carnival
night
experience
or
in and
21
of
night.
itself can vary widely.
Yeah. There's no Carnival experience. It's the cruise that you're going on. So anytime you go on a 3 or 4 night cruise, there's going to be an element, sometimes a large element on the ship, that it's a Las Vegas weekend. You know, I'm on the ship for 3 nights. I've got the drink package, and I'm going to hit it hard. I'm going to get everything I can out of this. And you know, I don't want to say that they ruin the cruise for other people, but they make it a different experience. It's a party hard ship. And that's Carnival, that's Royal Caribbean, that's MSC, it's any ship that goes out for 3 or 4 nights. There is an element that does that. When you get into 7 nights, 10 nights, 12 nights, 14 nights, that changes the complexion of the cruise because people pace themselves. They don't have to get everything. Yeah, there's an element there that's still going to party, but it's kind of hard to party for 10 or 14 nights consecutively. You will finally pass out. So Carnival as the brand is a great brand. I mean, there's nobody like the Fun Squad. Guy's Burgers are legendary. Shaq's Chicken is amazing. The shows are, you can take it or leave it. The main dining room food is okay. The buffet may not be the most exciting.
To the menu since we've
but and I'm hearing mixed things about that too. So it is what it is. Carnival, as long as you know what you're getting yourself into when you go onto the particular ship and going sailing, and where you're sailing out of. As long as you understand, it's just like going on MSC. We prepare our clients to go on MSC because MSC is a different experience. I would
never blanketly say do not go on.
Oh God, no. Carnival's a fun cruise line. We had a blast on the Mardi Gras. Mardi Gras is a fabulous ship. I have sent so many clients. Let's see, they've gone out. Pretty much name a ship, I've sent a client out on it. But, when we send them out on the smaller, older ships, we let them know, hey, look, this is a smaller, older ship, so it doesn't have everything on it. But like the Spirit class is one of the favorite classes of ship for so many people. And now that we've been on the Islander, which is a Spirit class ship, the Margaritaville Islander is a Spirit class ship. I get it. It's a lovely ship. It's a nice size. It's not too big. Got great pools up top. So, yeah, we get it. So no, I would never say never on Carnival.
And I will admit that Carnival may not be for every single person. But it just depends on what you want.
Yeah, and like every cruise line, not every cruise is for everything, right? We've been on 11 different cruise lines. People are like, well, what's the best cruise line out there? It just depends on what you're looking for, and it's not even the best cruise line; it's the best ship for what you're looking for. So depending on what we're looking for, we'll just give you like complete opposites. For the Christmas holidays, we were on the Oceana Seren at a 650 passengers, nearly all inclusive, 650 passengers, a 35,000 gross ton ship, very small ship. 2 weeks later, we were on the Icon of the Seas, the largest ship out there. Or 3 weeks later, we were on the Icon, largest ship, in the world. Talk about a difference of opinion, or a different. Like the Serena could have fit in Central Park. So we just like cruise ships, and I would never say never. So, Barbara, you've never been on Carnival, but you think they're a different cruise line than they were in 2000. Everybody is a different cruise line than they were in 2000. Everybody. All the technology has changed. All the packages have changed. The rules have changed on the ship. Everything is different. You can't look at anybody from back then and say, are they the same? Literally the entire industry is different. Remember, back in the day, they used to have actual guns shooting skeet off the back of the ships. Can you believe that? You go back and watch some of those Love Boat episodes. You'll actually see them doing it. That is awesome. Destiny, is Norwegian the only cruise line that will include flight? Nope. A lot of them do it. Princess actually.
Most of them will do it.
Yeah, Princess and Royal actually have great flight packages that you can roll in. Norwegian is actually one of the cruise lines that we don't recommend the flights. I know my representative hates it when I say that, but I don't think the flight department is all that great with Norwegian, especially when there are changes.
Yeah, they're okay if everything stays the same.
If everything stays the same, but pretty much every flight that you book today is going to change before you go. But yeah, most of the cruise lines do offer some sort of flight package. It just depends on whether the flight is better than what you can book on your own or not. But yeah. Eric, we booked you a nice affordable hotel in Rome. It was, what was that hotel? The Hotel Gaia de Volcano. Okay, thanks. I didn't remember what the name of it was, but that's awesome. Let's see, anything else? Got it. Diane, retired couple wanting a chill cruise with a great gym and spa, as well as films and talks. Great food. So if you want talks, if you want films and talks, the movies and talks, I don't know a lot of movies.
Find every single
I don't know about movies. Royal Caribbean shows the most movies, I think.
Well,
Disney shows a lot of movies.
And we have to admit we're going to try and start branching out and checking out spas, but we're not generally big spa people.
I will tell you that on the Sky Princess, they had amazing. They did have an amazing spa on there. So that royal class of Princess has nice spas. The Virgin Voyages spa is small, but they have an amazing gym. They have indoor and outdoor gym. I mean, they are all about fitness. They have yoga classes in the morning up top. So from a health and wellness perspective, Virgin Voyages is up there. Celebrity is up there. Celebrity has a beautiful spa as well.
From the photos I've seen of the ones on the Oceana Vista.
Yeah, the new Vista class on Oceana.
Beautiful spa.
Absolutely amazing spa.
I don't know about the gym part. I know they have one. I just haven't seen pictures of that.
And if you want to get more into talks and things like that, that's going to be Oceana. That's going to be Viking. That's going to be Seabourn, Silver Sea. That's going to be your smaller luxury lines. Holland America as well. However, I don't know about the spa and or the gym because they're really not known for that. But you will be starting to get into some of the smaller ships for what you're talking about. So yeah, Diane, if you want to cooking classes and foodie level food, again, that's going to be Oceana. That's going to be Silver Sea. That's going to be Seabourn, Viking, Regent, Seven Seas. So if you really want to get into that food level, Virgin Voyages does not have cooking classes, but they do have very, very good food. Oceana has actual cooking classes. Oceana also Sea Dream Yacht Club. Sea Dream Yacht Club does these cool things, as does Oceana, where you go shopping with the chef. You come into a local port and you go to the local market. I was just seeing something about the Sea Dream Yacht Club from one of my colleagues, where they went with the chef on a shopping trip, but they also ate all along the way. Like they were eating, they tried out charcuterie, they tried out this, they tried out that. So when you get into these smaller, more luxury lines, that's when you get that higher food service. And, the newer ships are going to have a higher level gym than the older ships, unless they've been retrofitted. So, I mean, certainly reach out. We can certainly work with you and try to find that right combination, because it could be something. It could be a mainstream line like Princess, Virgin, Celebrity, depending on the ship and what you want to do. Or we may lean more into the luxury line, which would be your Oceana, your Viking, your Seabourn, your Silver Sea, and even Regent, depending on what you want to do and where you want to go. So you say a chill cruise, that can be so many things. And believe it or not, a lot of people are like, well, Virgin is a party ship. No, it's actually a very chill ship. Especially if you go on the longer ones.
On there.
Yeah, there's parties on there. And if you want to party all night, then you go to the Manor nightclub, which is basically Studio 54. And it's amazing. And Scarlet Night is the craziest party you've ever been a part of on any cruise line, but it's only one night. But yeah, Diane, why don't you reach out? We'd be more than happy to try to figure it out. That's kind of what we're doing right now with our 50th anniversary that we're putting together. In fact, I've got a meeting with them in about an hour or so, where it's a 50th anniversary. And they have a very specific date that they want to be at the Eiffel Tower. They're going to have their anniversary at the Eiffel Tower in Paris. But they also want to have a long Mediterranean cruise. So they're going on the Silver Ray. They're going to go on the Silver Sea Silver Ray for 13, 14 nights, I think it is, in the Mediterranean. But before that cruise, we're going to do a whole land tour for them. So they will be at the Eiffel Tower for their anniversary, having dinner at the Eiffel Tower. They're going to do some land to fill in that time before they go on the ship. So, yeah, and there's going to be a lot of food involved. Another thing too, Diane, we have a great partner called Raro that is adults only, small group, only 20 people, and all-inclusive land tours in Italy, Greece, and the Philippines, with more coming. And food is a huge part of that. And it's not like, get on the bus, go here, get on the bus, go there. It's locals leading you to the local areas that you would never know about if you do all the big stuff. So there's even that, and that's the thing too that we've been leaning into as well, where maybe the cruise isn't the thing. Maybe the cruise is not the thing to do what you want to do, and it is a surprisingly chill, 7 or 10 days on land. In addition to that, so yeah. So John is interesting. I love this comment you just made on YouTube, because I'm the absolute opposite. John says he always pays extra based on service. He's talking about at the bars. Once you get recognized as an additional tipper, your drink is never empty. I do the opposite, and I've never had a problem getting a drink. I will tip my favorite bartender at the end of the cruise. So this is one of those tipping and service things. Some people like John, they want to tip all the time when they get good service, and other people like myself, I'm going to tip at the end of the cruise. I've never noticed a difference between the type of service I get or the drinks that I get. What I find really helps with the drinks is getting to know the bartender, actually talking to them, like taking an interest in them. Like Elliot is still my favorite bartender. He was on the Sky Princess. I did not tip him until the end, but every time I saw him, hey, Walter, come on over here. We just started talking about, his background, my background, and this, and I find that just creating a personal connection with that bartender is just as good as tipping every single time. So yeah, it's interesting that some people tip. When I find my favorite barista, I find my favorite bartender, I'm going to go at the end of the cruise and I'm going to give him, maybe 20, something like that, him or her 20 or something like that. But I'm not going to be doing, I just don't want to carry that much cash around. I don't want to carry any cash around during a cruise. But John, I get it. I know there's a lot of people who do that way as well. I just like to get to know them, especially when the bar's quiet. That's when I'll come over. I try to get to know the bartenders when it's quiet. Like during the middle of the day on a sea day, everybody is up by the pool. I'm downstairs. Maybe the world-class bar is not open yet on Celebrity, but the bartender's there getting stuff ready. I'll just sit there and chat with them, for an hour. Not even ordering a drink, just sitting there and chatting with them for an hour. And I find that, for me, anyway, that goes a long ways. And that's what I love to do. So, and Eric saying, cruising is the only thing. Yeah. And John said you come from a restaurant background. So now, yes, when you're at like restaurants or you're at a bar on land, yeah, you better be tipping all the time. But on a cruise ship, since you do have 7 days and you can get to know people.
Well, yeah. And you also have to bear in mind that if you have a drink package, the gratuities are either added on or built into the price of the drink package. And if you're buying drinks a la carte, there's automatically the minimal, usually 18 or 20% tip added on.
Exactly.
So anything you give in cash is, bonus.
So folks, I see it is now 12 o'clock Eastern time. We've been going for 90 minutes. Rebecca is melting into a puddle off to the side here, even though she has a fan blowing on her. And I have meetings. I have so many meetings. You all, if you are interested in our Margaritaville cruise, and I'm not just saying this just to say, hey, you better hurry up. I only have so many cabins at that amazing group rate, and I'm losing track of how many we've already booked. You guys are really excited about this one. And it's a low cost cruise. I mean, it really is a very cost effective cruise. It's 6 nights. Again, I've got balconies, interiors, and ocean views. My pricing includes the prepaid gratuities. So not only is my price reduced from the public, but then you don't have to pay the gratuities on top of that. We're sailing February 11th, 2025 on the all-new Margaritaville Islander, the newly refurbished Margaritaville Islander. It will be a 6-night cruise, and a captain's vow renewal is included with that. Now, you don't have to be a married couple. You can just be friends. You can be family. You can be solo traveler. We just want you to come along. But if you want to partake in a captain's vow renewal, we are hosting that. JN, I cannot give out any pricing on the air, period. And actually, solo is not included in the group rates. It is double occupancy. So whatever the public price is right now, there is no solo special solo rate. You are going to be paying, that full other than the taxes and fees. But if you want to reach out, JN, we'd be more than happy to run the pricing for you and see what it is. But on the Margarita, let's see, I need to answer your email, Margarita. Yeah, I know about email issues. But folks, if you're interested in the Margaritaville Islander, I obviously I cannot give out any pricing on the air, but if you do reach out to me, if you just send me an email and say what's the price and you're not a current client of mine, I am going to tell you to set up a time to talk with us, because we don't just feed out information. But it is the Margaritaville Islander. We're sailing out of Tampa. We're going to Key West, Progresso, Cozumel. We are going to be setting up a group excursion in Key West, and we're going to have the captain's vow renewal. And of course, we're getting on last call now for the Oceana Riviera, sailing June 26th from Seattle for 12 nights in Alaska, nearly all inclusive. So folks, if we can help you in any way with your travels, we are Where's Walter Travel, where'swaltertravel.com. There are links wherever you're watching me. There are links in my bio, description, whatever. Just reach out. We would love to help you. Thank you so much for joining us on a Sunday morning. We'll be right back here next Sunday. No show on Thursday night because it's the 4th of July. So for those of you in the United States, happy 4th of July, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. Have an amazing rest of your Sunday. Reach out. Let's talk about cruising. Let's talk about travel. Bye, everybody. Have an amazing Sunday.